In this video, I am going to tackle some things outside of what you do on this instrument that can help you get a gig, keep a gig, and build relationships. All right? But before we do that, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because watching you join this community, we're building together, and it's giving me the fuel and the fire to continue to produce these videos for you guys, to share my journey. This is something different. I normally just post like bass covers, but for all that ask me about beginning on bass, I got you. I got you. But let's get into it, all right? There's a few things that I think is very important. I'm gonna try to keep this video, brief and such, but one of the things when I first started gigging that was very important was being able to learn music, but not only learn the music, retain the music. So you get your first gig, right? They send you a set list on Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube or whatever the case may be. And you got a list of 20 songs or so. The gig is in a week. Don't wait till the night before or a few nights before that to try to learn some music, because you're not going to retain that information. Now, as a professional, there are people who have figured out their ways of charts and all of that stuff. But as a beginner, let me tell you now, get in the habit of getting the music into your soul, because it's when it's in your soul and you don't necessarily have to read it, you can begin to learn the other musicians that you're on the bandstand with. You can look around and catch a groove and catch a vibe, and like they go, oh snap, this person they actually came prepared. That's very important. It was something that took me a while to get good at. When I first started playing out, I would learn music, but I wouldn't necessarily retain stuff, like not in the way that I really wanted to. Why? Because when, say for instance, you've retained information and you're on a gig and stuff can happen on the fly. When you know where you are, anything thrown at you won't affect you. I'll break that down a little bit later. Another one is being punctual. How you respect yourself and people's time is the difference in whether you can get a call or not, right? If something is happening at 5 o'clock and you have to be there to set up equipment and stuff, or let's just say the rehearsal is at 5, and you need to get there and ensure that your equipment is set up and working in proper condition. You don't need to be getting there at 5 o'clock. You need to be ready to start playing at 5. So I would get in the habit of, when you are given the time, you give yourself, as a business, the business that you are and the brand that you are, you give yourself enough time to get there and be ready to start at the time that is suggested. And it gets no plainer than that. So if you're terrible with time, you start practicing now. Somebody tells you we're starting something at 2. If you gotta be there at 1 or 12:30, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, because your name is all that you have in this game. Hygiene. Do I need to say more? Okay, good talk. Number 4, how are you around people? Do people like you? Are you a likable person? Are you a person that causes conflict and inserts your ego to a point where you drive people around you crazy? And if you don't know the answer to that, you may be the problem. So evaluate yourself. Maybe ask your peers. You ought to have good friends. And if you don't have good friends, start developing them, especially in the music community, because this is how this works. Who you know and how they know you to be around them will dictate what you get next amongst your talent level. You got it. Hey, this one right here, this is an extremely important one. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. This is something I wasn't that good at when I was young, hungry, and was full of energy. But when you get in a room with people that you don't know, your talent, yes, it is very important, but that's not what's the most important thing, especially when you don't know people. and they don't know you. You might know them, but they don't know you. It is important that you learn how to be cool and shut up. Like literally close your mouth, listen and observe, because you never know that what you say next is the reason why you may or may not get that gig, the reason why you may or may not make that connection, the reason why you may or may not head in the upward trajectory in your career. It can be the deciding factor, and the power of life and death lies in your tongue. What you say next can change the game completely. Now, if you focused on just playing your instrument, you don't really have that much to say until it's time to say it on this instrument. Everything else just comes in natural order, right? So those would be the top 5 things for me as a beginning bass player that I feel like you need to get into your head as you progress in your journey. The talent alone is not going to do it. The talent alone is not going to get you where you're trying to go, but the discipline and how you apply it to your life will help you there. I hope this video was very helpful to you. I didn't do any playing this time around, but I'm holding this beautiful bass. It's just, I felt like holding it. But make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.